Hi, I'm Philippa and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Australian Core Skills Framework and introduce you to this DVD. The Australian Core Skills Framework, ACSF, describes levels of performance in the 5 core skills of learning, reading, writing, oral communication and numeracy. It provides a consistent national approach to the identification of the core skill requirements in diverse personal, community, work and training contexts, and a common reference point for describing and discussing performance in the 5 core skill areas. This DVD will provide an introduction to the ACSF, 3 scenarios incorporating the application of the ACSF, a discussion focused on each of the scenarios, and a summary of learner performance and needs using the ACSF. The ACSF describes performance in 5 core skills, across 5 levels of performance, where level 1 is the lowest level through to level 5 the highest level, and in 6 aspects of communication which can be understood as context for learning and performance. So what are the key principles of the ACSF? Performance in the key skills is influenced by an individual's interests, needs and aspirations in the different areas of life, whether it be personal, community, work or training. Although the core skills are treated as discrete, the way they interrelate is critical. This relationship exists both between skills and within a skill area. Performance derives from the degree of support, familiarity with context, text complexity, and the complexity of the task. As performance develops from level 1 through to level 5, support is decreased as the learner becomes more independent and builds their own resources. The contexts that a learner is able to handle become much broader to include the less familiar and the unpredictable. Texts become more complex and may include abstract and embedded information, and tasks increase in complexity from requiring 1 or 2 processes to tasks that require sophisticated analysis, synthesis, evaluation and recommendation. Let's look now at some of the main applications of the Australian Core Skills Framework. Specialist LLN practitioners can use the ACSF to assess and describe with precision an individual's performance at any point in time and then monitor progress. You'll see a scenario with Zoe that illustrates this. The ACSF enables identification and discussion of core skills in a workplace. It guides the development of training programs and provides a standard approach for describing the 5 core skills as part of workplace competence within training programs. Later in this DVD, you'll see a scenario of Paul that illustrates this point. Trainers can use the ACSF to identify the LLN skills needed to successfully complete a training package qualification. Training package developers can use the ACSF to ensure that the core skills are adequately addressed as part of competency standards within the package. The ACSF can be used to map state LLN curricula, providing a common reference to describe adult English language literacy and numeracy performance in Australia. The detail of the ACSF, particularly the performance features, support teachers in their curriculum planning. The ACSF document has been designed with an emphasis on accessibility. The body of the document is organised by core skills which are colour-coded. Each core skill is presented in the same format. Let's look at an example. Each level of the core skill is clearly laid out with the following information: indicator statements that describe achievement at each level. When we talk about an individual's level in the ACSF, we're referring to an exit level. That is, the person is able to demonstrate what is required at that level. Appropriate support, context, text and task for each level. Performance features that provide detailed descriptions about the indicators. These performance features are organised against focus areas that provide specific information about elements of the skill. This enables a more in-depth analysis of performance and can inform training plans and curriculum development. At each skill level, there's a list of sample activities that provide guidance about task development and an indication of what a person at that level may be able to do. These are grouped against the 6 aspects of communication: personal, cooperative, procedural, technical, systems and public. The appendices at the back of the document present the performance feature grids in a different format. This full-page spread of the performance features, organised against the focus areas, can assist curriculum and training plan development. The ACSF recognises that a person may be operating at different skill levels. This can be captured visually in what is called a Spiky profile. A person may have a Spiky profile across the 5 core skills, within a core skill across the different aspects of communication. Mapping an individual's detailed levels against the levels of language, literacy and numeracy required by a training package or units of competency enables gaps to be recognised immediately. This valuable information about a person's specific strengths and weaknesses can be used to inform further training needs. This is illustrated in the Paul scenario that you'll see later in the DVD. As well as the full document, the ACSF is also available as a summary document that captures the key information of the main document. It has been developed for non-language literacy and numeracy specialists. The next section of the DVD looks at 3 applications of the ACSF. The first scenario introduces Anoni, a workplace language and literacy teacher, talking with Paul, a newly appointed team leader. They're meeting to talk about core skills development needs. This is in relation to workplace expectations of the team leader role and the training package qualification. This scenario focuses on Paul's oral communication and numeracy skills. The second scenario shows the teacher Diane talking with Jordan, who has just enrolled in a VCAL course. VCAL is a Victorian accredited hands-on certificate for students in years 11 and 12. During the discussion, Jordan's competence in the core skill of learning is explored. The scenario also looks at Jordan's reading and writing skills. This information forms the basis for identifying Jordan's core skills strengths and areas that he may need support in during his VCAL course. In the third scenario, we see Ludmilla, an ESL teacher, interviewing Zoe, a prospective client in the Language, Literacy and Numeracy program, LLNP. This is a formal pre-training assessment, and the ACSF is used to determine Zoe's levels in the core skills in order to place her in the class that best meets her needs. This scenario focuses on Zoe's learning, oral communication and numeracy skills. So now, watch a scenario, pause the DVD and have your own discussion about the ACSF levels, then listen to the panel's commentary.